In this video demonstration, we are going to look at migrating some printers. So let's open up our print management snap-in, and the easiest way to do this is to right-click on the word print management and do migrate printers. And we're going to export printer queues and print drivers to a file. And for this print server, server C, give us kind of a summarization screen here of what's going on. Say next. We're going to export this to our desktop to a file called server C. Makes sense? Notice the file extension on this, pretty long, printer export. Say next. Takes just a few moments. All right, notice it says the operation complete with no errors, and we can actually open up Event Viewer. So let's do that. Let's open up Event Viewer and kind of see what happened in Event Viewer when we made this export of the printer happen. So take just a moment to open up Event Viewer. All right, so we open up Event Viewer, and we see that there's a new custom view that was created for us called Printer Migration Events. And we can see that this was done at the time that I did it, and it utilized the print BRM executable, which is the command line tool for exporting. Just another way that we can do that. Kind of cool. All right, let's close out of Event Viewer, and let's click Finish and get out of this. And if we go back into our devices and printers, just because we did the exporting process doesn't necessarily mean that all the printers and everything was deleted. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all of these printers, drivers, etc. So let's in fact, let's go back into our print management, and we can see our, let's see here, print servers. Can see that we have our printers, and again we can get in here and delete these printers out. Let's get rid of this one, sales, and we can get rid of the drivers too. Why not? Remove the driver package, delete it. Just keep going. Just get rid of all this. And let's also get rid of the ports too. I think I wanted you all to do that as well. Yeah, let's get rid of these ports that we created. All right, so we got rid of, we're going to leave, as far as ports, we'll leave the LPT 1, 2, 3 and all the other ones that we did not create. The ones that are there by default, we'll just leave those in place. So again, the main point here is that just because we did the export process doesn't mean that all the printers and drivers and everything else were deleted when we did the exportation process. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drive over to server B. So now we're on server B, and we're going to use the appropriate command line tool to import the print queues and drivers and processors and ports, etc. From server C. Now what I'm going to do is kind of go through a little backdoor process here, and I'm going to go pick up that export file from server C. Doing a little $sign there, server C. I want to do a dash, not a /. And there we go. So let me drive over to users and administrator. I think that's what I was logged in as. No, I was logged in as administrator Huglin. And then desktop. And there's that server C printer export file. So let me copy that and paste that to my desktop. So I was able to drive over to my server C machine. So again, there's my server C machine, there's my printer export. And I was able to just kind of go through that process of using the UNC path, that hidden share $C$ to go grab or snag that export file, which is kind of cool. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the command line tool, appropriate command line tool, to actually import all of this back into B for a printer server. And one of the things that that gives us a tip that this server C.printer export file is not going to work immediately is the fact that there is no association. Like if we look back over on server C, you notice we have this little printer icon, but on server B it's not there, and that gives me a tip that the printer server role has not been installed. So I'm going to go back open my server manager roles and do add roles. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in the print and document services role, and that'll give us that capability, because if not, that print BRM command line tool that we're going to be utilizing is not there in the directory by default. So this print and document services role is going to give us that print BRM. Could we probably go out on the internet and snag the print BRM capability? Probably could, but this just gives it to us and really turns this into a print server, which is, if we're going to be migrating those settings from server C to server B, that's what we need to do to make this print server and then have that capability. Now I could just double click this file and make it happen, but I'm not going to do that because we want to use the print BRM command line tool. So let's go back in and let's take a look and see in our Windows directory. Spool tools folder, and now we see the print BRM command there for us, and now we can utilize the appropriate command line to import that in. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a, since we're already here, we don't have to type the complete path because we're already in the directory. We can just do a print BRM -R-F, and we are going to have to specify the location of our file, and actually we called it server C, and it's on the desktop, so it's going to be users administrator, I can't remember if it's administrator Hugo or not. Let's just double check here. Administrator, say users. I guess it'd just be administrator. That'll work. Administrator, desktop. And really, you know what? Since this file name has a space in it, I don't have to put this in quotes. And server C, I think that's got a space in it. Let's try it. Printer export. Oh, let me try it one more time here. Didn't like that. So let's get rid of this server C, see if that worked. All right, there we go. So operation in mode, I actually put a C in my initial command line syntax, or a space between the server and the C here, and didn't need to do that. It just looked like it may have had a space in it, but it really does not. So it says that it did the information, went through the process, and everything went through just fine, looks like. So we got that in, and let's go a little bit further in the lab, okay? All right, the next thing we want to do in the lab is we want to use the appropriate command line tool to list the print drivers. And so we are going to run the C script, %systemroot, %system32, printing admin scripts, enus print driver.vbs -l-s, and then the name of our server. Hit enter, and that's going to list all of the printer drivers that are installed on our machine. So that's what we need to do there for that portion of the lab. And the last thing we need to do in this lab is open up print management, and we want to be able to manage server C along with server B and kind of put them together and consolidate management. So let's right click on print servers, let's do add remove servers, and let's add in server C. So let's browse, and we'll do server C-JH Didn't like that, so let's hit cancel. Let's do server C. Let me just type it in. Server C -JH. Let's add that to the list. Apply that. Say OK. So here is server C showing up. Again, we don't have any printers on server C listed. Take just a moment. Except for our XPS document writer, which we did not delete. And then here are all our printers for server B at present. So all printers, we have 2 document writer, drivers, etc. So that satisfies all we need to do for this portion of the lab.